Good afternoon, Spurs fans. This is THFC Till I Die, the home of Tottenham past, present, and hopefully we have a future. This is coming to you live from Dublin, where I'm on my way to the Ireland and France match later on. And hopefully that's not going to be the route that we all think it is. And I'm joined today on a joint broadcast with Spurs Between the Lines with the usual co-host, Mia. So how are you, Mia?
I'm good, thank you. I'm not too bad.
Good. I think we're all sort of in the afterglow of last night's events, where at about 20 past 10, I think it was, the news broke that Spurs had relieved Antonio Conte of his position at the club. And they made a very, what I would class as a very watery thank you to him. It wasn't very complimentary at all. It was kind of, thanks very much, the job's now go away. I thought there might have been a little bit more, grateful for what Antonio has done. And let's face it, he did get us into the Champions League when it did look like we were going to get anywhere last season, you know. So I think that's another Levy again, maybe taking it out on Conte for whatever's been going on in the last few days over the discussions as to his settlement, which I presume he'll be getting some sort of. So just to remind Dermot, of course, his absence for the next few days. His partner's mother was buried this afternoon. The funeral was at 1 o'clock. So that's all done and dusted. So I was talking to Dermot a few minutes ago, and I think they're just afterwards. You know what happens after a funeral, the family gets together and whatever. So that's where they're at the moment. So I'll just read out a few comments here before we get stuck in. And it's just from Moondog. Good afternoon. Sending love to Dermot and family. Thanks very much, Moondog. It really does appreciate the comments. There's such a comfort at this time to him and to Derval. And Wayne Bonner, I'm good with Stellini and Mason for the rest of the season, but they need to sort this manager situation out quicker than they did with the Nuno fast. Yeah, I mean, how long was Nuno? 75, 80 days after Mourinho went, or longer? I forget exactly what it was. But, what do you think, Mia? Will Levy have learned his lesson that time? That we were a laughing stock the last time this happened. Surely something has to give quickly on this managerial front, and we need an appointment as soon as possible.
I don't know because he's quite hard-headed, isn't he, Daniel Levy? I think there's definitely been a lot of boiling of that bald head because he's quite hard-headed. I don't know if he learns his lessons very quickly, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I know. It's. I mean, I think one thing I take comfort on. I was purely 100% against that, Ryan Mason taking charge solely for the rest of the season. But now that Stellini has stayed on, which is actually a bit of a surprise because normally when a manager goes, it's normally a complete clear out. But then all the cut, and in fact, this is quite unusual in so much it's only Antonio Conte and his brother Gianluca, who was an analyst at the club. They're the only two that have left. So at least the core of the training regime is still there, which is a good thing, I think, And the fact that Stellini is there, maybe to show a bit of guidance to Mason, because I know Mason has a reputation of being Levy's spy in the camp, if you like. Whether that's justified or not, I don't know. But what do you think? Are you glad Stellini has stayed on there?
Yeah, I think that it gives a bit of stability to the players. I think that they know what they're getting with Stellini, although they know what they're getting with Mason. Mason isn't as experienced. So I would say that it's probably a good move to keep him around. But my suspicion is that Conte's giving his blessing, but I feel like that there's a deal going on here that something isn't because me and my brother were talking about it, and he said this is so weird that this has happened. Like, who does that? Who allows their whole rest of their team to stay on and you go? It's a really bizarre situation that I've
Yeah,
never come
yeah.
across before.
Unless it was part of the deal that Conte has got from Levy, is that your lads you're going nowhere for another. You see, he could be on gardening leave. Conte
Yeah,
could
that's
be
what
on
I
gardening leave for
suspect.
the rest of the season, which means you might as well let his team be
Well,
gainfully employed for the rest of the season, because no doubt when the new manager comes in, they'll be gone anyway. So
yeah. Well,
that could well be it.
I think what I said to my brother is the wording is very important. Don't forget, they said by mutual agreement. Now, when that
Yeah,
happens in general, that does mean they're on gardening leave because that's what they did with Nagelsmann. That's what we did with Poch. It was gardening leave. It was never they sacked. It was they are left by mutual agreement, and that the wording is important to what actually
yeah.
is happening. So yeah,
Yes, I think you could be correct on that. It's cunningly worded. In so much as I think it's gardening leave, because Nagelsmann is going to be paid by Bayern until he gets a new job. I think that's the way that's been read out. So it's going to be an interesting situation how this pens out over the next few weeks. But I think it looks like we're going to be stuck with Stellini and Mason for the foreseeable future. Although I don't believe the hunt for a manager will stop just because they're in
no.
situ. I think there will be, if somebody suitable comes up in the meantime, I think we should jump at them, but we'll see what happens. And a few more comments. Mick Hermeluk, good afternoon, Philip and Mia. How are you, Mick? How are you doing?
Hi Nick,
And Mick
hope you're well.
is saying hello to Moondog here as well. So big up Moondog. And Moondog is returning the compliment to Mick. So there we are. Now, this is from Terry Wright. Now, this is discussing the fact of keeping Stellini on. It's his thoughts on keeping Stellini around. Do you think he's getting a 10-game audition to possibly take the job permanently? I'd be
No,
very surprised. I'd be hugely surprised. I think it's more likely the fact that he would have been put on gardening leave as well if he took the same deal as Conte. So I'd say no. I'd be very surprised. And I don't think, apparently the players like him, but I don't think his only previous job was at a Series C club in Italy. So I think the jump from that up to managing Tottenham is a bit bridged too far for him. And but I hope, as long as he does well for us over the next few games, we wish him luck wherever he goes to next. And proud to be a Geordie. Well, fair dues to you. Your team's doing very well this season. Hopefully not too
yeah.
well, but we don't want you to overtake us. Fourth is ours, by the way.
I would like to actually know from Proud to be a Geordie. I heard rumours that that you might not be keeping your manager if you do well, that you might get rid of him. What's your thoughts on that? Because I like Eddie Howe as a manager. I think he's a really good manager personally. I would
Well, I'll tell you one
keep
thing.
him.
If Newcastle got rid of Eddie Howe and we hadn't got anybody in, I'd be seriously looking at him. I
Yeah,
think
me
he's an
too.
excellent manager. Excellent
Yeah,
manager.
no, I really do like him. I think he's
You
very
know,
good.
and he,
I like his mannerisms as well, Philip. There's something about his body language and the way that he is that I like.
yeah, yeah. No, he's a good lad. I mean, and he's like he did wonders at Bournemouth when he was there. And okay, Newcastle is a bigger pond to swim in, if you like. But I know he's backed up by the Saudi money, but I'd say he's a little bit worried that the fact that Saudi, that those guys can really hire any manager they want because it's on the unlimited cash resources that they now have. So that's why I think they need to do well this season, get top four, or else he could be on his bike. So my wish is Newcastle get fifth and we get him as our manager. I'm thinking of that. Oh, anyway. And Stephen Thomas, hi Stephen. Until Levy goes, doesn't matter about the manager. He's poison. Well, I mean, take your point. We respect all opinions on here. Levy in 20 years has not covered himself in glory with the managerial stakes, and we can only hope that this time, for about the 15th time, that he gets it right. And Proud Geordie again says Daniel Levy, hard-boiled egg. Yeah, he looks like a
Yeah,
hard-boiled egg, all right. Yeah,
that's what I
he
said.
acts like one too.
Yeah, that's why I suggested that his head must be hard because I don't think that I think he is a bit of a hard-boiled egg kind of
He
person,
sure
and his
is.
head looks like one as well. So
He sure is. And hang on, now I have to go and past a few comments there by mistake. Hold on. There's a lot of comments in here today. And Pierre Sternegard. Haven't seen that name before. I'm sure you've been in before, Pierre, but you're very welcome. 1 year max, and next manager goes out the door and fans will cheer him on. No, I think we normally work in 18-month cycles.
yeah, a little bit longer than a year.
Exactly. And this from Dan Davenport. He says, hi, Phil. Are you going to see Ireland versus France tonight? David Harris is going. I know. I think I'm sitting in the same row as him. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the game in parts. I don't want to see France hammer us, which they probably will, but it'll be nice to see some of the French players like Mbappe and all that. You know? And proud to be a Geordie. Definitely something going on with Stellini staying. Yeah, well, who knows whether we'll ever hear what the reason is, but I think it does bring a little bit of stability to the club rather than just leaving Ryan Mason in charge, And Wayne Bonner is saying, question, did Conte give his blessing or did Stellini tell him he wanted to stay? Very good point, Wayne. Very good point. I would say possibly Conte gave his blessing. I'll take a hit on that one. I'd say he might have. Because the fact that it's only Conte and his brother that are leaving is quite telling. I think the boys have been told to listen, you're on your own now for a while until Conte gets his new job, and then no doubt these guys will move along with him, Let's see, but any more new comments?
Yeah, we've got a
Yeah,
few.
this is another one from Phil Coys. It must be a financial reason that Conte blamed himself getting the sack and told that to his coaching team to stay on. Well, I'll tell you now, this is one that I was going to save this for later in the broadcast, but this is what we were told last night. The reason for Conte's sudden departure after it looked like there was going to be stalemate was that Conte apparently informed Daniel Levy that he would no longer work for Tottenham. And as such, he technically broke his contract. And that was the reason Daniel Levy was able to come up with a dismissal at 20 past 10 on a Sunday night. Now, be that true or not, it sounds like there could be a ring of truth to it because things were heading to an impasse there. There was no progress being made either. We thought this was going to drag on for days. Now suddenly it's gone. And this is possibly a reason why the boys are staying on. The Conte has asked Daniel Levy maybe for an improved settlement for himself to allow his own lads stay on so they're not subject to garden leave while he's not able to work until he gets a new job. So we don't know. We probably will never know. But that is the latest that we've heard, And then, oops, that's the same one. Kev Williams, hi, Kev. Hi, Mia. Hi, Philip. Hi, everybody. Hi, Kev. How you doing?
Hi, Kev.
And
I
the
hope you're
disabled,
well.
yeah, and the disabled team again. Hi, Philip and Mia. Hope you're well. We're all well. We're sort of a little bit better than we were yesterday. At least there's a bit of clarity coming. At least we now know that we don't have a manager at the moment, And Dave MS, Spurs should keep an eye on this young Dutch player, Finger in there. I haven't heard of him, actually. What team does he play for, Dave? Or does he? Finger in days. Oh, hang on. Is that a bit of a con name? I'm beginning to
Yeah, I
put
was
those two
thinking
words
that.
together there. I don't think it, yeah.
Don't keep reading
Yeah,
it.
I don't think he's a real player now somehow. Yeah, it looks good though. It looks good. Um, now, let me see if anybody else. I think that's all the comments. No, a few more. Terry Wright. And yeah, this is one we're going to cover this in a few minutes. Royal is out for the next 6 weeks. And apparently the injury happened in the very last minute of the Brazil match against Morocco. So we're actually jinxed. We're actually jinxed. And Terry Wright said, Eddie Howe is terrific. That's the kind of manager we need. That's why I like Thomas Frank. He seems perfect for Spurs right now. I'd say Thomas Frank is on the short list. But the fact that he's with a team now means you probably can't touch him until the end of the season. But certainly Thomas Frank would be a very good manager to get on board. Now let's see. Mick Look, it's saying my regards to Dermot and family. Thanks, Mick. Again, Dermot will be, if he's not watching it now, he'll be watching it in the repeat later on. So he'd be delighted to see that. And then Kev Williams, in my opinion, Levy keeps getting involved and undermining the manager with club signings and other neck-winding traits. Well, that's the thing. I mean, this is becoming a bit of a joke, this comment, club signings. In other words, the club signing is someone the manager doesn't want, but the chairman does. And I think Levy should stick to that end of things,
Did you? But if you watched actually what Ali Gold said, he actually said that Spence was a signing that Paratici actually looked into and was keen on. So is that really Levy getting involved? Is that him letting Paratici do a job? Because surely he should be contacting Conte and speaking to Conte. I know that Levy has to okay it, but it's a bit of a funny one that Ali Gold specifically said that. And it does make you think. We all assume that Levy is the one. And obviously we've got people telling us they know that it is Levy. But the fact is that Ali Gold said it was directly Paratici who actually seeked him out and wanted him. So
yeah, it is. I mean, I also
interesting.
saw it's very interesting. I also saw come where actually Conte did want Spence in the initial stages, and it's just hard to know why he's frozen him out. Now we could do with him now. My God, we could do with him back at the club now because of the injury situation we've got at fullback.
I suspect we will never know the real truth because,
No,
obviously,
won't.
Conte's going to say it from his side. Levy's going to try and defend his side, and Paratici, well, he might end up away locked up somewhere. So
Well, apparently his court case was adjourned today. It was postponed.
Until May.
So let's give him another month. But he's still a dead man walking. If he's found guilty on that, he's gone. So
yep.
Anyway, Phil Baby is saying, hi, Phil and Mia. The radio suggested that Conte gave his blessing for Stellini to stay. Such a large backroom staff that to keep them on gives continuity. Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, and fair dues to Conte if he did that. He could have insisted that his lads came along with him. So we give him credit for that, and at least it does give us a bit of continuity, And
that's true.
Let me see now. United Spurs of America. How's it going over in the States? Big up, Jacob. And big up, Mia and Philip. And Rob Belcher. Good afternoon, Philip and Mia. Conte gone. Emerson Royal out for at least 6 weeks. Just another day supporting this club of ours. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It doesn't get any easier, does it? It doesn't get any easier. Yes, unfortunate. We now have Ben Davies out for 4 or 5 weeks. We have Emerson Royal out for 6. And we've only really got Porro at right back and Perisic at left back. That's all we've got left. And Perisic, for all his promise going forward, is not a left back. So we could be in bother there unless we can bring some young kid up from the under 21s or something. I think Ben has been flippant here. Well, I hope he is. Hiya, Ben. How you doing? Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. David Pleat in. Yeah.
I think Ben's been sniffing the coffee beans.
I think the coffee must be getting a bit strong down in the coffee shop at the minute. David Pleat, I think he's 1987's model somehow. I don't think he's quite the 2023 model, But stranger things have happened, NS Sports TV says hi.
Yeah,
and
he's
NS
a
Sports
Chelsea
TV.
supporter.
Is he? Oh yeah, I want to see the
Nipping.
badge there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, big
it's
up
nip.
me and AT like that. Well, fair dues to them for coming on. I mean, any
Yeah.
fans of other clubs are very welcome, providing they keep it reasonable and don't start making silly comments.
Oh
As
yeah.
long as
No.
the reasonable discussion, we're delighted to have you.
To be fair,
Absolutely.
I know Nippin from Twitter. I spoke to him a lot on Twitter before I came off Twitter, so I know he's okay. So
Oh, very good, very good. No, fair dues, fair dues. And David Clark. Hi, David. How are you? Hi from Leicester. Just walked in from my hospital shift. There's only two common denominators to Spurs situation. That is Joe Lewis and Daniel Levy. Yeah, well, that's true. They're there for so long now. They're there 20 odd years, 22 years now. And again, what actually happened in the last 24 hours, I'd say you could just make one common denominator with Daniel Levy. They organised whatever was organised with CONTE. So we'll have to see what finalises. Now, I think, I know we still have a few more.
we still have
So
more. They
comments
just
are
keep
flying in
coming and
today.
coming.
Don't they? Yeah. No, it's great to
Keep
see them,
requesting.
And Terry Wright says, with all the injuries, it would be a minor miracle if we finish in the top four. Unfortunately, I just can't see it happening. I think we're looking at fifth or sixth. A lot's going to depend on the next couple of games. Like, for example, Newcastle are playing Man United at the weekend, right? Newcastle lose that, and we win our game at Everton. We're 5 points ahead of them. And even though they're still going to have two games in hand, the points in the bag are always more important than games in hand. So the next couple of games are going to be so crucial to us. We can get the new coach bounce. I was calling new manager. We could get a little bit of a bounce. The players seem to like Stellini, and if he's able to instill a little bit more attacking flair into our team, and get the defenders to actually do what they're paid for, defend, then maybe we might not have too bad a season. Sorry, I'm always the eternal optimist with Tottenham. I'm hoping we get top four, but I can honestly take your point that my fifth or sixth might be the best we're looking at. The next couple of games will give us a shape to see how that's going to turn out, And Terry Wright, big up, David. That's it, David Clark. United Spurs of America. Oh, this is a simulcast. Oh, yeah, we're very high tech here, we can multitask. Yeah, so you think we're trying actually to try and get a bit of exposure for both channels, and it seems to be working quite well.
Yeah, it's good.
And Mick Hermeluk, whoops, hang on, this is from
Proud to be a
United
Geordie as
Spurs of
well.
America. Yeah, I'll get him in a second. Big up, Dermot, and hope you can find your comfort in these trying times. Look away from Spurs. Yeah, he finds it hard though. Even though everything's going on, he still wants to know what's happening with Spurs. And Nick Hermeluk, big up, United Spurs of America. Yeah, great to see a bit of Spurs support across the pond there. And David Clark, Levy has sacked a man on his sickbed. Yeah, there's a rumour that Conte's health isn't the best at the moment. And, but Levy is known to be a ruthless businessman, and there's no room for sentiment at times like this, even though maybe there should be. So we'll just have to take it. It's done now, and hopefully, if he isn't on a sickbed, that he gets well soon. We don't wish the man any harm at all.
No, of course.
I'm proud to be a Geordie. Newcastle will not finish top four, guaranteed. Oh, that's good. Yeah, we'll not disagree with you. We'll not disagree with you. And Phil Baby saying plenty of 6-pointers left this season. So maybe, yeah, exactly. Like we've got Man United and Liverpool. They're the two toughest games we've got, and Newcastle. They're the three tough games we've got. We can win the others. So will 21 more points be enough to get us into Europe? We'll see. And yeah, Terry Wright says, any updates on Richie's injury? Yeah, I was just reading something about that before he came on. He'll be back sooner rather than later. Now, it didn't say that he might be available for the Everton game, but it's not long term, so he'll be back fairly quickly. That seems to be the best way we can put that. And I think Ben Kaufman. Ben, I've given up Tottenham trying to win, so bring back David Pleat. No point bringing in a top manager because they will never be supported long term. Yeah, Ben, the only problem bringing back David Pleat must be about nearly 80 at the moment. He must not. So I think maybe he might be just a little bit too gone past the sell-by days. Bring back Martin Jol or someone like that. I wouldn't say no to that. I mean, Martin Jol was probably my favourite Tottenham manager beyond Pochettino. And obviously Berkshire Nicholson, but of recent years, he was great. He really was. Tequila is saying, hello everybody, as well as saying I've been saying Pleaty in for months. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something here. Um, Mick Hermanog is big up tequila. And this is an interesting tactical thing from David Clark. We will now go 3-2-5 under Stellini. It sounds more like an Aussie Ardiles formation, to be honest. 3-2-5.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, 5-2-3, maybe, but not 3-2-5. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, anyway, we're coming to the end of the thing here now. We've got a couple of things to cover before we finish off. The comments have been great today. And Ben saying 78, age equals wisdom. Yeah, true enough. True enough.
And also maybe a bit senile as well.
I don't know. I'm very careful about saying things like that, you know. But
I'm joking. I'm
yeah, I know. Yeah,
joking.
of course. Yeah, I
Obviously
know. Yeah,
not.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no,
No,
no. I think.
obviously, maybe the stress of at 78 years old isn't a good idea. The stress of Tottenham, let's be honest.
I say he had the stress first time around. He probably doesn't want it. And then again, away Ozzy is my second choice for manager with Steve Perryman. Yeah, Ozzy was an interesting manager back in the '90s. All right, it was incredible. The famous five, you know. But anyway, Ben, we'll have to leave it to your favorite person to make the decision, and hopefully he makes the right one this time. Because I don't think any of us will like. Well, none of us are happy with the way things managerially have gone under Levy. I mean, it's ridiculous to have 14 managers in the length of time he's been there. Absolutely crazy. I mean, okay, I know Watford had 11 in 3 years, but you know we've got 14 in 22. It's too much for a major club. And the fault does lie a lot of the time with the chairman for getting rid of things too quickly and making the wrong appointments. So anyway, Big Herman, early finish today, tequila. And David Clark said, "Is that a Greek joke, Mia?" Yeah, Maria, you can answer that one.
Yeah. No, it's not.
No. And Tequila 316, good to hear, Mick Homer. Best to enjoy yourself during Spurs times. And Ben Kaufman, 50% of the managers of Tottenham have been here since Enoch. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's it. And that's a crazy. I think the club is 150 years in existence almost, and 140, 141 years. And we've had 50% of the managers in the last 20 years. It's crazy. It really is. Carl Simpson, how are you, Carl? I presume that it's meant to be hello all or hell all, but then again, no. Hell could be a description given to the way Spurs fans find themselves at the minute, so it's possible.
Yeah, I told
And
you the
David
song.
Clark saying, sorry, go on, Mia.
I told you the song earlier. It's "Highway to Hell." That's what you
Yeah,
play up when you
exactly.
walk up towards Tottenham Stadium. That's what you have.
Well, we were trying to work out earlier on Mia's show earlier this morning what would be the best theme song for Spurs to come out on the pitch to, and Highway to Hell was high on the list up, you know. So anyway, now Carl Simpson is saying hell. I
He
meant
meant
to say
hello.
hello. I think we think we do. You think we got that all right? And Pierre is saying Conte did very well. Only 1% lower win rate than Poch, second best of all managers in 30 years, and with a worse squad than the one Poch had. Absolutely, yeah. But you know, I think a lot of it comes down to the type of football, the style of football wasn't really acceptable to an awful lot of fans. I know stats weren't too bad, and we're still top four, but there's been something wrong for the last while, and I think maybe the break for the World Cup was a big problem, and things don't seem to have been totally right since that, you know. So Tequila saying the Benny Hill music is always his go-to. Yeah, well that wouldn't be a bad one either. Especially you could play it in the last 10 minutes when we're trying to defend a 3-1 lead. Yeah. Road to Nowhere. Yes, that's true enough, you know. But Brian Maguire saying that the name for the Tottenham Stadium should be called the Prophet Stadium. Yeah, true enough. I see we had a rugby match there on Saturday as well, in Saracens and somebody or other. I don't think there's that big a crowd out now. The Adrian Shear's going back to the kids' song. The wheels on the bus go round, round, round. The managers on the bus go round, round, round. They really changed the
The
words a
wheels,
bit.
the wheels on the bus fall off, off, off. You mean?
Off, off, off. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. And Tequila again. Play it whenever I see Sanchez or Dyer to defend. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I play the theme song from Bambi when I see Sanchez. Bambi on ice because he falls over more than he doesn't. And Daniela Zito, good afternoon, Daniela. You're saying
Good
good afternoon to
afternoon.
everybody. Now I'm going to finish the comments there because I've got a match to go to, and it'll take me about an hour and a half to get to it. Just to comment on the injury list, we have now lost 55,000 at the rugby. My God, I must have looked at the picture before the match started. There didn't seem to be that many in it. I'll read this last comment from Ben here. The song "The Laughing Policeman," which is every other club's laughing at our club. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Just as the injury news, we've covered it in this already. Emerson Royale injured his knee, I think, playing for Brazil against Morocco at the weekend. Injured in the last minute of the match. He's now out for 6 weeks. Which leaves only Pedro Porro as a recognised right back at the club. Ben Davis is missing for 4 or 5 weeks, injured in hamstring, I think it was, against Southampton. Richarlison will be back shortly, possibly not for the match against Everton on Saturday. And any other injury news? Hopefully Harry Kane and Eric Dyer will be okay because he wasn't playing for England. Harry Kane comes back fit and well from his exploits for England. And again, we'd like to congratulate Harry on getting the the scoring record there against who was he playing against? Italy on Wednesday night, and scoring again last night. The guy is a machine. I'm glad they took him off for the end of the game last night because he deserves a bit of a break. And we're back. We're back tomorrow at some stage. Mia is back in the morning, I think, on your 8:45 show. Isn't that correct, Mia?
No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is supposed to be my day off tomorrow.
Day off tomorrow. Okay, right. Well,
Wednesdays and
I'm
Saturdays.
actually
Monday, Wednesday,
busy.
Saturday.
Very good. No, that's fine. I forgot about the Tuesday one. I'm actually busy tomorrow morning. I've got my band tomorrow night, so probably won't be much happening tomorrow, unless, of course, that we hear something big, like a manager appointment or something like that,
Yeah.
One thing I will say, even though Stellini and Mason are in charge for the foreseeable future, I do have it on authority that the search for the manager will not stop during this period of 10 matches. And do not be surprised if something big crops up in the next few weeks. We can only hope that happens, whether it's a pre-contract agreement to come in the summer or something more permanent than that. But it's looking like at least we have a bit of stability for the weekend coming up against Everton, which, by the way, it's Monday night. We could easily be out of the top 4 by the time that game comes around. It should Newcastle beat Manchester United. So, it's going to be a very tense run into the rest of the season, and we can only hope that we do as well as we did last season when we won 10 of our last 14 matches, and Arsenal self-imploded. So we can only hope for the same again on both counts this time, because we do not want Arsenal to win the league. So, Mia, thank you very much again for coming on at such short notice, and we'll say you can just plug your channel generally there. I'll cut you off a bit short on the program bit.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool. If you could all go over to Spurs Between the Lines. If you haven't already subscribed, if you have, just go over, like all the videos, watch the videos, do the same here as well. Make sure you like, comment, tell us what you think in those comments, because it's important for us to interact with you guys and know what you think. I do try and reply to pretty much all of the or respond to all the comments that people do leave me in my comments. So if you leave me a comment, I will obviously acknowledge that I've read it. So yeah, I try, and because the thing is, for me, it's about the interaction with you guys. Like, I really enjoy that interaction and speaking to you guys. So yeah, I want to know all of your opinions and what you think.
Very good. Excellent. Great little channel. It really is. So that's it, folks. Listen, all I can say is keep the faith, and in Spurs we trust, and onwards and upwards, and top 4 is ours if we can get it. Goodbye and see you.
Take care, everyone.
Sorry, I lost that.